Hey, hi first graders. Hopefully you guys are doing really well. I'm gonna share an example of a solar system model that somebody made. That's a YouTube video, and then I'm gonna share one that I'm gonna make from home. So you're gonna watch a YouTube video with me through this Zoom, and then I'll show you how I'm gonna make mine with the materials I have and we have slightly different expectations. This model goes through all of the planets, and our expectations for you are just to make the sun, the earth, and the moon, and show what patterns occur with those three things. So let me go ahead and share my screen, and we will watch that video. Okay. Well, there we go. So let's
Hi everyone! Here on SciShow Kids, we've talked a lot about space, the stars, the planets, and even if there might be life elsewhere in the solar system. But wouldn't it be cool if we could have our own mini version of the solar system right in our rooms? Squeaks and I thought it'd be cool to make a model or a small-scale version of the solar system to put on the wall. Do you want to join us? All you'll need are some scissors, construction paper, and some glue. You'll also want to ask a grown-up for some help. So let's start our model by thinking big. What's the biggest thing in the whole solar system? Can you think of it? I'll give you a hint. You can see it in the sky anytime during the day. That's right, the sun. The sun is so big that more than 1 million Earths could fit inside it. So the sun should be the biggest piece in our model, right? But what about the planets? Do you know how many planets there are in the solar system? If you said 8, you're right. There are 4 rocky planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. These planets are called rocky planets because they're dense, and if humans were to land on them, we would be able to touch the ground. And all 4 of the rocky planets are the ones that are closer to the sun. Further out, there are 4 bigger and kind of fluffier planets. They're called the 4 gas giants because they're really big, and instead of being made of rocky stuff like Earth is, they're mostly made of gases. The gas giants are Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. So let's put them in the right order, from the one closest to the sun to the one that's farthest away. Mercury is first, then Venus, then us here on Earth, and then Mars. So those were the rocky planets. Now let's move on to the gas giants. Jupiter, then Saturn, Uranus, and last, Neptune. Now that we've named all of our planets and our star, let's look at the size of each. The sun is the biggest, but what's the biggest planet? That's right, Jupiter. Jupiter is more than 10 times bigger across than Earth is. Not as big as the sun, but still pretty big. The next biggest is Saturn, followed by Uranus, and then Neptune. Next in the lineup of sizes is our home, planet Earth, which is the biggest of the rocky planets. Next biggest is Venus, followed by Mars, and then Mercury, the smallest of the planets. Now, to make our model, let's pick out a few different colors of construction paper to make our planets. You can use any colors that you'd like. Squeaks and I have our colors picked out already, so we're going to use pencil to draw our planets. We'll make the sun the largest. Then we'll make 8 more circles, with each one being a little smaller than the last. Once our planets and the sun have been drawn out, we'll cut them out with our scissors. You can make your planets even more unique by decorating them with paints, markers, or glitter. Next, we'll take a big piece of paper to stick our sun and planets on. All right, guys, can you help me with the right order of the planets? We'll start with the sun. Now, which planets are closer to the sun? The rocky planets or the gas giants? That's right, the rocky planets are the closest to the sun. And do you remember which is the very closest to the sun? That's right, Mercury. Now, how do you know which circle to use? Remember, Mercury is the smallest planet, so you just pick your smallest circle. Following Mercury is Venus, and Venus is the 3rd smallest planet, so line your planets up and pick the 3rd smallest. Next comes home sweet home, Earth, the biggest of the rocky planets, also the 4th smallest. And the next planet in line is the last rocky planet in our solar system, Mars, which is the 2nd smallest circle you've made. All right, can you name the first gas giant? If you guessed Jupiter, you're right. It's the biggest planet in our solar system, so grab your biggest circle. After Jupiter, comes Saturn. And I'm going to draw some really cool rings around mine because Saturn is famous for its beautiful rings. Next in line is Uranus, which also has really cool rings. And finally, the furthest planet from our sun and also the smallest gas giant, Neptune. And voila, you have your very own little solar system to hang up with pride and show off to your friends. Thank you so much for helping Squeaks and me make the solar system. Did you make your own? We'd love to see it. Grab a grown-up and send an email to kids@thescishow.com or leave us a comment below. And we'll see you next week.
Okay. So that was one example of making the entire solar system. So she did all of the planets. The only planet you have to do is Earth. So I had a few different things around here. I had some tissue paper, I had tape, some paper, I have a little like rock collection. So I was trying to see what would work the best, and I kind of settled on something I already had, but maybe you guys can make something if you have like tissue paper like this, or just regular paper. But for this, for today, this is going to be our sun. Maybe you can tell it's a grapefruit. But maybe you have something at home you can make your sun out of. Maybe Play-Doh, paper, you could draw it, you could make it on construction paper. You could use plain white paper and color it yellow or orange or red. But I'm gonna use a grapefruit. And then I also wrapped up in blue tape. I had some blue tape for like painting. Your parents might have some blue tape. If they don't want you to use their blue tape, that's okay. But since Earth is the blue planet, I covered an onion with blue tape. So that's my sun and my Earth. And then I have a little rock collection. So I pulled this out because it's a very cratery little rock, which I thought would be perfect for you, the moon. So for your summative, you're showing different patterns, and you've learned about, and what we mean by patterns are things that occur over and over again. So you recently just learned about seasons, and why we have seasons, because the Earth will orbit the sun, so that means go around the sun, and that's a pattern that takes place once a year. So it happens every year. It makes a full revolution. Maybe if someone's helping you, you can also show how while the Earth is orbiting the sun, it also is rotating on its axis, and that pattern is every day. So once a day, the Earth spins on its axis. So it's facing the sun, it's daytime, and then it turns away, and it's nighttime. Maybe you can even draw on your Earth like where we are, like this is the United States or something like that. Yeah, you can add some detail to your Earth, some land, maybe where you are. And then another pattern you can show is how the moon orbits the Earth. And the moon's interesting because it really has most of its craters on one side, because unlike the Earth, it doesn't spin on its axis, it just stays the same, and it orbits the Earth. And if you see the full moon, or you notice that there's a waxing moon or waning moon, that's because throughout a month, 1 month, so that's the length of this pattern, the moon is in different places and having a different amount of sun on it. So the amount of sun that you can see on the moon is the reflection at different points in the month. So those are some patterns you can show. So I hope you use your creativity and whatever you can find around home. I know we all have different things. I didn't have a lot to work with, so I just used what I had. I hope you have fun doing this, and I'll see you soon. Bye.